introduction.
Good day, everyone. Balogun Ilu is my name, popularly known as Balogun Ilu. I'm a Master of Ceremony par excellence and also the Creative Director at Brightest Star Events and Project Management, an events company based in the state of Osun. I welcome you to Actifate 2023, the Symposium, where I'll be taking you through the heart of mastering of ceremonies. Basically, how to compare events and how to create fun around events, how to engage audience, and how to be a great and a professional master of ceremony. So that's what I'll be taking you on today. But before I continue, I would like to take you through my Actifate story. Maybe like a brief history about myself before we enter the class properly. Balogun Ilu is my name, like I said earlier. A chemical engineer. I studied chemical engineering from Lautech, Ogbomoso. Somebody will be wondering what is the correlation between studying chemical engineering and being a master of ceremony. So being a master of ceremony for me and being an events person for me has always been something from within. Has always been there from day one, right from while we were in secondary school. We all know the days of valedictory service where you have to act, do one or two social events during valedictory services then. So at that point, I discovered, my passion for relating to the audience. I discovered my passion for speaking. I discovered my passion for meeting new persons and running what I do for a living now. I didn't really take it serious at first. We all have potentials that are untapped. At some point, the mastering of ceremony part of me was not really tapped into. Not until my 400 level in university when I went for my industrial training in Lagos. So that was when I met with my mentor, who is still my mentor to date, Onitong. I met with him at an event, doing very great, doing wonderfully well. I'm like, guy, this is what you are made to do. This is your line. Trust me, running an IT at a paint firm, I had to paint. Okay, I was still going for the for the IT of a thing. But throughout my stay in Lagos, I kept on following Onitong to all events he did then. So that was when the journey really started. So going back to school for my 500 level, all to the glory of God, we took over the whole space, in the mastering of ceremony thing in Lautech, Ogbomoso then. So that's just like a brief, background of how it all started, and God has been faithful ever since then.
You're not ready to talk it, that's alright, 'cause I can wait till the morning, if that's what you like. 'Cause you're not ready to talk it, that's alright, 'cause I can wait till the morning. I've been a fool, I've been a fool.
Yeah, and of course, mastering of ceremony comes with its peculiarities. Like I said earlier, after meeting Onitong, I got to work on really wanting to know more about the craft. A lot of people feel it's a simple profession, but trust me, it is not as simple as people think. because there are different events, there are different peculiarities to those events. The way you'd handle a wedding ceremony is not the way you'd handle a burial. The way you handle a burial is not the way you handle an housewarming or a corporate event. So after meeting with my mentor Onitong, I met with him one-on-one and asked that what will it take me to really learn with him. So that was when I subscribed to tutelage under him, where that was when he officially became my mentor, showing me what to do and how to go about it. So aside the fact that I was always at events with him, I also got to research. That is one point I would want you to hold, at the preparatory phase that we have now. Research. I began to research about the craft. I began to listen to a lot of senior colleagues. I began to listen to let me mention a few names: Bovi, Sheilo, Alibaba, anybody you can think of. I began to listen to people. I began to read materials. I began to research on how and what to do, how to really get to the peak in the in the mastering of ceremony career. And all thanks to my mentor once again, who gave me that opportunity to learn closely under him. And also one thing that I did at the early stage is that I committed a lot of time into ensuring that I gathered knowledge in that line. So on that note, I would like to move into the main topic and let's get to business. Art of mastering ceremonies. Let's pick it from that word master of ceremony. It means that we are in charge. Okay, for those of you who are in it already, for those of you who are aspiring to be in it, for those of you who want to get better in it, I think I'll just try and speak generically so that we can all pick one or two things from it. As a master of ceremony, we are expected to be in charge of the whole event from A to Z. Events are in different categories. We have the corporate events, we have the social events, then lastly we have the semi-corporate events. I think these are the three categorization of events. So the peculiarity of a corporate event is quite different from a semi-corporate event, and it's quite different from a social event. As a master of ceremony, it is not a must that you are able to do all of these things. There are some persons who focus on corporate events alone. I'll give few names. Someone like IK is a corporate MC. Someone like Ebuka, that we all know, those guys are corporate MCs. But thinking of someone like Sheilo can successfully handle both corporate and semi-corporate and informal events. Some people are graced in that line. So number one thing for those of us who are just starting is that we need to decide first, what line of this job am I going into? Am I going to be there are some MCs that would never crack a single joke at events. That is their line, just the corporate space. So number one question for you listening to me is that what line do I really want to go into? Do I want to go into the corporate space, or I want to go into the semi-corporate space, or I want to try and do all? It is doable. You can do you can perform excellently well in those three categories. I do all to the glory of God. So you also can do it. After you have now decided on the line you want to go into, point number 2 now is get a mentor. You heard me say it during my introduction that having a mentor really helped me to move and so very high. Have a mentor. Point number 2. Your mentor will now be determined by the line that you have decided to go into. For example, now Onitong is my mentor. He does all those lines. For you that want to be a corporate MC, it will not be so detailed of you to have a Sheilo as your mentor. You would need an IK, you would need an Ebuka, you would need maybe a Sako. Do you understand? Those who are in that line. So point number 2, get a mentor. I said point number 1, identify. I want us to go back to it again. On point number 1, identify what you really want to go into. Point number 2, get a mentor. So point number 3 now is that get ready to do a lot of work on yourself through research and through a lot of dedication to that line. That is a very, very sensitive and if not the most important part of what we do. Things we're in a world where things change per time. The style of hosting wedding, few years ago is not the same style we do now. And I want to believe things will still change as we proceed, in the journey of life. So number 3 now is that please, we need to do research. For those of you in it already, for those of you aspiring to be in it, and for those of us who have been in it for years, research we need to really, 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 really do at time, because things are changing. We're in a world that is moving and moving and moving and moving. So you have to read a lot of books. There are books written by a lot of people on mastery of ceremonies. There are a lot of books written by I'm trying to get names in my head now, but just go to Google, how to master ceremony, things to do when at an event, all of those things. Read, research on a lot of things, and that would give you an easy ride in the journey of mastering of ceremonies. Point number 4 now is the fact that you have to believe in yourself, in the sense that having getting a mentor, having done a lot of research, having studied and all of those things would not fly when you don't have that inbuilt capacity yourself. There are times where we get to the stage and the whole maybe the level of the audience wants to sweep you off your feet. You have to stand your ground that you are in charge, and you are in charge, and you are in charge. So that being said, another point that I'll move to quickly, because I know we have a few more minutes to go, is that you have to now ensure that you get into the social media space as a master of ceremony. We are in a digital world now. You can sell yourself from the corner of your room, from your locality that you have. Gone are the days where we all have to be in Lagos to be known. I for example, I'm in Oshobo, and trust me, I walk across the globe. I travel as far as you can think. So social media usage is very, very important. That is point number 5. As a master of ceremony, you have to get an Instagram page. You have to get a YouTube page. You have to have a business WhatsApp whereby people can reach out to you. You have to think of it, any social media space, you need to be very, 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 very involved. You need to learn how to do sponsored ads. You need to learn how to engage a social media space such that you'll be relevant. And trust me, from wherever you are, if you are so strong in the digital space, you can do and undo. That is my 5th point. 2 more points, then I would just share 1 or 2 experiences with us before we continue.
My people, how una dey? I wan show una better way where you fit dey buy your data all day. No stress, no wahala at all. Them call am Meda Pay. E dey for Play Store, e dey for App Store. E no dey far away. Buy MTN, Glo or Airtel. E dey for Play Store, e dey for App Store. E no dey far away. Buy MTN, Glo or Airtel. Subscribe to GoTV, DSTV. E go shock you like electric shock. You fit even buy airtime, dem go reward your savings like you never lack. You fit buy MTN, Glo, Airtel data just for shikini money. Yes o, na so jollificate we dey o. E dey for Play Store, e dey for App Store. E no dey far away. Buy MTN, Glo or Airtel.
Yeah, you're welcome back to Actifate Symposium, where we're talking about the art of mastering of ceremonies. So thank you for staying with us after that short break. So where I stopped before the break was talking about social media, space whereby you need to maximize so strongly, such that you'd be relevant. So all the social media spaces, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, WhatsApp, and all of those platforms. So next point would be you know, how to, you know, be, I'm trying to put this right, language usage, in the sense that some people are so gifted with different, you know, languages. I, as a person, I can speak like 3 languages. We have some who can do 4 languages. We have some who can do 5. Okay, you as an Igbo person, you can't say because you're an Igbo man, the only language you communicate at events as a master of ceremony would be Igbo. You can't say you do only Igbo events. You can't say you do only you know, Igbo ceremonies. You'll be called someday by a Yoruba client. You'll be called someday by an Hausa client. You can be called someday to host a French event. You can be called someday to host, you know, a German event. One of our big uncles, Uncle Bengadinka, he speaks German, he speaks Spanish, he speaks, you know, French, all of it. Like, I think he speaks like 13 languages. So as a master of ceremony, one thing that people, you know, overlook is your ability to be multilingual, which I feel as you know, at this symposium, I would like to open our eyes to it. As a Yoruba person, you should learn a little of Igbo. You should learn a little of Hausa, even if it's just be their, you know, their greetings. There are times whereby, you know, you go for an Igbo event and all you are expected to do to really capture your audience is just to greet them in Igbo. You know, there are sometimes whereby you be at an outside event and the way to captivate. Now, there's something that we do as hosts whereby your first line can may or can mar your event. I'm speaking from experience now. There are times whereby you get into an event, your first 3 minutes will determine how your event will go. Maybe your event will go good or it will go bad. You know, I'm a Christian, and okay, let me digress a little bit. As a Christian, a client reached out to me who happens to be a Muslim. I was like, am I sure I'll be able to host a Muslim? I'm like, in fact, I'm allergic, you know, joking now. So there are ways to which Muslims do their things. They have to greet them in Muslim, you know, in the Muslim way, all of those things. The man was shocked after the event, you know, carrying everybody along, doing the Gwalabatobe thing, all of those things. So as a master of ceremony, you need to, if not, you can't do just 2 languages. You know, that's one thing I would like you to also pick from this symposium. At least 3 or 4. Then even if you won't be so deep in those languages, you can just learn their greetings, then learn maybe 1 or 2 things that would allow you flow freely if you meet yourself in that kind of category. I have a senior colleague who does not and will never do a Yoruba event. He said, you know, he knows nothing Yoruba. He's an Igbo person, and that limits him. So as a global, as we are striving for global relevance, we need to try as much as possible to ensure that you know, we are versatile. I think that is the right word. Then lastly, before you know, I leave you know, you with 1 or 2 experiences, is to build your character, to build your integrity, and to also build your mannerism. Yeah, character, integrity, and mannerism. You know, that is a very important part of what we do. Integrity is key. Mannerism is very important. Then also you have to be a man of great character. There are some event persons, as a master of ceremony, they take like 3, 4, 5 events together, and at the end of the day, you know, client A wants to see your face, client B wants to see your face, client C wants to see your face, and you are, you know, and news travels so fast in this generation that we are in. So it is best to just say, okay, I have a job on this date already. Can I refer somebody? That is one thing that, for those of you who are in the line already, I know you can relate, whereby you take 4 or 5 events together and you want to, you know, quickly shuffle everything. At the end of the day, it ends up, you know, damaging, you know, our integrity, and it's not so right for business. If you feel you can only do one event per day, please just take that one event. If you feel you can manage to do two when the timing, does not clash, you can take the two events together. Maybe there's a book launch in the morning, then maybe there's a wedding later in the afternoon. There are times you can actually successfully do three events. I think I've done that before. Maybe a surprise event in the morning or a book launch that would last from, let's say, 10 to 1 p.m. thereabouts. And a wedding that would run from, let's say, 3 to 7. Then you have another dinner. So the timing does not clash. So you can do things like that. But, trying to, muffle up things won't really pay you. Lastly, pricing. As a master of ceremony, I would like to speak to you on how to, charge. I won't give figures. There are times whereby we shoot ourselves in the foot as master of ceremonies. For example, I'll use myself as an example. I stay in Oshobo. You don't expect me to bill someone who wants to run an event in Oshobo the same price I'll bill someone who wants to run an event in Abuja. I know what I'm talking about. Flexibility in pricing is very, very key, and the locality you are in should be a very important criteria to how you charge, or else you just see that things are moving over you. There are times whereby I do events in Abuja, they pay for flights, they will run accommodation, then very juicy price. You don't expect that same level of billing to come on someone who is in maybe Ondo or something. I'm not saying those places are not, but I think we understand what I'm talking about. There are geopolitical differences where we need to also note. I worked outside the country sometime last year. The pricing was very different from what I do normally because it was happening outside the country. So pricing as an MC, then please, we need to stay true to yourself. We know the level we are in. I have my guys who charge as much as 3 million naira per event. I can't say because I can do what they do that I should charge 3 million naira also. My level is not there yet. We are on a journey, so we'll definitely get there, but we are not there yet. So you need to stay true to yourself. If you feel that your level 30,000 naira is what you are worth, please take it and be relevant. Just upload as many events as you can. Do a lot of things as you can. You will definitely get more and more offers.
Showglass Media International, set to be Africa's leading multifaceted media company, aimed at harnessing creative minds while hinging on the use of modern media techniques to create eye-raising moments, excellent managerial coverage, and narrative-changing content to individuals worldwide, as well as targeted media platforms, brands, agencies of government, and multinational organizations.
As part of Showglass Media's international efforts, our podcast platform, Things Upon Things, addresses the in-depth of societal issues, while our news and infotainment platform, Hourglass Updates, beams the spotlight on day-to-day activities, just as it is. Another creation of the Showglass Media International is our comedy content promotion platform, Biscuit. Visit our website and check out our content from our YouTube channel, Showglass Media International, recreating the narratives.
Yeah, so I've been able to read out 8 points. I wanted to give out 7, but I feel I should dash out one more point. So on the topic given to me also, we have creating memorable event experiences and also engaging audiences. Engaging audience as master of ceremonies, we need to be very, very careful in that line. Our mannerism to audience is very, very important and very, very delicate. There are some MCs out of trying to make people laugh, they end up insulting persons. they end up insulting personalities. That is one thing I warn people against. You know, the mannerism at which you talk, you have to be very sensitive. Well, it all boils down to the level of research and the level of work you have done on yourself. There are some jokes you don't crack at events. There are some people you don't talk to anyhow. I was at an event and an MC was trying to approach a governor in a radical manner. He ended up embarrassing himself. So the way we talk to people, the way you joke around a royal father is quite different from the way you joke around a chairman at an event. The way you joke around a chairman at an event is quite different from the way you joke around, a scriptural, a leader in church. I was at an event where an MC was handling a church program and was saying all sort of things. The pastor had to step him down. So the way and mannerism at which we try to engage audience should not be too overstepped. We should not overstep our boundaries. Try as much as possible to be very sensitive. I tell people that I prepare when I go for events. I prepare beforehand, but I'm always very flexible. There are some times where you get to an event and all you have put together in your head will be dropped somewhere because of the state of where you find yourself. So there are some times where you have prepared a lot of jokes and you get there and you won't do one single joke. All you just do is just to be spontaneous and to be flexible and just play around. But you have to be experienced enough not to overstep your boundaries. That thing is a very important thing that I would like to lay emphasis on. So that is very, 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 very important. Then lastly is creating memorable experiences. Creating memorable experiences is possible at all events. All has to do with the way and your preparedness. Creating memorable experiences has to do with your preparedness, has to do with your kind of audience, has to do with how receptive your audience is. There are some times whereby you crack all the jokes in this life and people are just looking at you like, young man, what's happening? There are times like that where you start questioning your own ability. Shame you are funny, man. No, you are funny. It's just that at that time people are not ready to. So for you to create memorable experiences, you have to must have worked on yourself. So after working on yourself, you have to be flexible enough. You have to be very spontaneous, and you have to be very, very creative. Creating memorable experiences, you can come with a lot of games. There was a time where flipping of bottle, I think, is still in vogue. You have to be creative. There we have this charade game, shoe game. A lot of games can be done to create, content at events. I was hosting a wedding one time like that, and trust me, the husband and the wife went to change. Like an hour, I was still on the microphone, waiting for the couple. The band guys insisted they were not going to sing until they see the couple. The DJ insisted they didn't pay him to come and play for audience, that they paid him for first dance and after party. So who is left with to engage the audience? Myself. So a lot of games we did, scavenger hunts whereby people have to go into the audience to get stuffs. We did the dancing competition. We did the who knows the music competition. So for you to create memorable experiences, you have to be as swift in thinking as you can be. There are times whereby you would need it. You have to be as spontaneous, as swift as you can be, such that you don't. There's some people call koboko in our line. I'm sure some persons will be laughing at by now. So there's something we call koboko, whereby when it meets you, you know that something has really hit you. Then lastly, generally speaking, is that you also have to put God first in all you do.
Are you in search of affordable yet quality office, home and outdoor furniture to serve different purposes? Then look no further. Art Deco Interior and Furniture Limited is the ultimate brand you have been searching for, ranging from office chair and table, dining set, luxury sofa chairs, Chesterfield sofa, hall and church chairs, transparent chairs, banquet chairs, outdoor furniture and garden seats, saloon furniture, student desk and writing chairs, bookshelf and cabinet, gaming furniture like snooker, table tennis boards, and many many more. Visit us at any of our branches in Agumbelewo, Alekuwodo, Fakunle, Oshumol, Oshugbo, and Ileife, or call us on 0803-510-5891. Once again, 0803-510-5891. You can also browse our extensive collection online at www.shop.artdeco.com.ng. Elevate your living space with Art Deco, where style meets sophistication.
So in celebration of World Youth Skills Day, I would like to implore you listening to me that mastering of ceremony is a very creative, line that you can, do, you can learn. It's a skill you'd want to acquire. Trust me, it is not time consuming. It is juicy. Truth be told, it is very juicy. I'm not joking now. It is very juicy. I earn 6 digits. Every 6 digits. I mean sweet 6 digits. And that does not mean I don't do other things. I'm into project management. I'm into farming. I only work when I get to work. So I'm using this medium to tell you that it is a skill that is worthy of acquiring. It is something you can learn. Okay, somebody is asking the question, okay, maybe I don't like to face the audience. I don't like to talk. I'm a shy person. Trust me, you can do it. You can do it. It's something you can do. It's something you can learn. Facing audience is also something that will scare you for some time. After some time, it would fade off. You understand? So it is a skill I would like to sell to you. Let me put it that way. The skill I would like to sell to you. You can still be your tech guru and also be an MC. You can still be your photographer and still be an MC. Yes, you just be shooting in the studio, then you'll be doing your MC outside. Sincerely, I have a colleague who is a banker. He's a banker, but he also chops MC money Saturday and Sunday, and he still has his salary. So I'm trying to sell this to you. It's something very simple, not very simple anyway, because you have to walk the walk. But the skill I would like to sell to you as we celebrate World Youth Skill Day 2023. You can be an MC. I am an MC, and I'm making money from it. You also can make money from it. So to the latter part of my presentation, I'd like to say to you, aspiring Master of Ceremonies, that get a mentor. After you've gotten a mentor, get ready to work on yourself. Get ready to make use of a social media space. Get ready to learn 1 or 2 languages. Get ready to ensure that you are under tutelage by someone you believe in, and also believe in God. God is the most important part of our journey, whereby we all cannot do without Him. And I believe strongly that we'll meet at the top. Balogun Ilu is my name. It's nice having you at Actifate Symposium 2023 in celebration of World Youth Skill Day. We love you. See you at the top. Bye bye. Catch ya.